Okay, in this part we're going to be covering my 4 shelves that are my Shonen collection. It's pretty much all DVD. There's a couple of Blu Rays, but it's mainly DVD. I apologise for the creaking of the chair. I'll try and not do it too often. Okay, so first up we got Bleach. So we got box 1 here, and box 2. These are original Fat Pack releases. They did re-release these in single keep cases, which I wouldn't mind getting at some point. Those are the 3 that I've watched. Basically, those are the 3 that are worth watching with Bleach, because after this it goes into filler. I watched these, well not these specifically, but I did watch this part of the show like about 10 years ago, and I've never gone back, even though I own all of this stuff as well. Because the show is really, really good up to about here. It's like one of my absolute favourite shonen anime. And then we move into the Bound, which is the first of the major filler arcs. And this is when you start to get filler with Bleach. And Bleach, much like Naruto, has some of the worst filler around. So you have like 60 episodes or so of canon and a giant 50+ episode filler arc. So the show was basically on for a year, and none of it was canon to the manga. So we got the season 4 for some reason was split between 2 sets here, and then we got the Assault, which is season 5, and then we move into these new, more slim keep cases, something more reasonable. Although annoyingly, like I said, these 3 got keep case releases, as did these 2. But for some reason they never released this one in a single keep case. So you can get all of these and have it just take up 5 DVDs or whatever. But yeah, this one never got that same treatment. So fuck you, Viz Media. Seriously, what the hell? Like, if you're gonna go for all the effort to do all these, at least put this out. Even if these weren't selling overly well, for Christ's sake, come on. Some sort of consistency, please. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, so we move along and we've got the rest of the Bleach stuff. I've got up to volume 18, but there's a couple missing, I believe. So we've got the ones with the slip covers. We've got set 6 here, set 7, set 8. This shelf's a bit tight, the rest of them are much less so. Wait a minute, is this set 8? No, yeah, then we've got set 10 here. I'm missing set 9. For some reason I just have never got around to buying it. I don't know why. And then since I'm not watching any of the show beyond this point, that's part of the reason, I guess. I just haven't ever prioritised it. I'd like to watch the show, but I don't know if I'll ever bother with any of the filler, which means some of these volumes will probably never get watched. But anyway, this is set 11, I believe. Yeah, set 11, set 12, 13, I like the colours on these, 14, and then 15, I believe. Yeah, 15, 16, yeah, 16, and we jump one, haven't got 17, then we got 18. There's 26 volumes in all. The rest of the volumes all came in like these single keep cases, so about, I can't be bothered to do the maths, but I think I have about 10 left to get or something. And again, I wouldn't mind necessarily buying all these in the keep case. It's just so fucking annoying they didn't release that one in a keep case. Excuse the language. Anyway, moving on. We got the first 2 movies in the DVD sets. I think this one's Memories of Nobody. And yeah, it comes in like this plastic slipcase. Kind of nice, but yeah, on DVD. I don't believe you can get these on Blu-ray in the UK, I think, but I don't think they came out on Blu-ray in America. Anyway, and then we got the second film, Rebellion, or the Diamond Dust Rebellion. So yeah, the second movie. And then I'm missing movie 3 and 4. Both of those did get Blu-ray releases in America, but I do not have them. Anyway, moving on, we've got the first 5 of, I think, like 8 or 10 Dr. Slump movies. So Akira Toriyama, the same creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, these are 5 movies. There was like a huge, like 200 episode plus series, TV series. I think predates Dragon Ball, actually. I think Dr. Slump is a character that came about before Dragon Ball. But yeah, these are the 5 movies. Most of these are only like 45 minutes long, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Dr. Slump movies 1 through 5. Discotheque unfortunately didn't put out another collection of those to complete the set, which is unfortunate. Maybe they will if they ever license the TV series, which at this point, given the amount of classic stuff they're putting out all the time, I wouldn't rule it out, honestly, that at some point they might actually license that. I'm actually surprised Funimation never did. Like, they could have possibly, I don't know, like, maybe not, maybe the dub is the problem, that they would have probably been felt pressure to dub it, but yeah, I'm still a little bit surprised that Funimation didn't sort of cash in on the Dragon Ball hype by doing Dr. Slump, since there's crossovers, like the Dr. Slump character, I forget I don't think she's actually called Dr. Slump, I can't remember what her name is, like the main character, but she like appears in Dragon Ball and stuff, and vice versa, I think, as well. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised they never did that. So anyway, so next up here we have Dragon Ball. I've not seen Dragon Ball, I've seen Dragon Ball Z. For some reason, I just didn't really ever think about watching the prequel before the sequel. Normally I would always do that, but Dragon Ball Z feels like such its own entity in terms of like its insane fandom and stuff. I just decided to watch Dragon Ball Z on its own without even thinking about the fact that there's a series that comes out before it. And yeah, Funimation put it out across 5 seasons. These are I think it's 143 episodes for the whole series. I really want to watch this because I think I would like Dragon Ball a lot more than Dragon Ball Z. I really need to do it soon, because this is much more like adventure, comedy, fantasy stuff, like compared to like the straight up just endless fights that are Dragon Ball Z. So I think I like Dragon Ball a lot more. I'm almost certain of that. And obviously this also has it in the original aspect ratio, 4:3, compared to the 16:9 bullshit they did with Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, these are the Blue Brick releases. I don't have the episode guides for a lot of these. The original releases came with like nice booklet episode guides. I think I have it for a couple of them, but apparently some of the later prints of these box sets don't come with those, and I'm missing a few of them. Anyway, got season 3 with Master Roshi. Season 4, and finally season 5 with Goku. And you kind of see Goku like grow up, like, because this is Goku at the beginning of the series. So, and kind of one of the weird things, I've seen episode 1, or at least part of it, with the dub, and it's kind of weird because the voice for Gohan, which is Goku's son in Dragon Ball Z, is the same voice actor who plays Goku, young Goku, like, which is kind of weird. It just feels weird because you just feel like you're watching Gohan. Because frankly, if I told you that was Gohan, you'd probably believe me because they look exactly the same. So I don't know. Like maybe it is Gohan. I have no fucking idea. Like, it can't be Gohan. So I don't know. I should probably just stick with my original interpretation, which of course is that's Goku. Anyway, moving on, whatever. We got the orange bricks of Dragon Ball Z. So as I say, I've watched all of these. Got season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So yeah, these are the 16:9s. Again, well, when the Dragon boxes were coming out, I was around collecting anime, but Dragon Ball Z was not exactly high on my priority list. I would have liked to have gotten them though, because they were so cheap. I really do wish I bought them, but in the end, I was collecting these orange bricks and I stuck with them. I regret it, but there you go. So, yeah, these are the 16:9s and whatever. Dragon Ball Z is a fun show, but it's not a show I had any nostalgia for. I didn't watch it as a kid growing up, so the show just never really took off with me in any way. I like it, but it's not that amazing, I don't think, and some of the crazy fandom for it has always left me somewhat confused. Yeah. So those are the 8 season sets. You've all seen those a million times, and most of you probably already own them, so I'm not going to pull all of those out. I'm going to step off the ladder and move it along here, and we move on to the second shelf, which has got some really cool stuff on it. So, so a little bit in the dark there, we got season 9. Then we got 2 of the movies, or movie sets on Blu-ray that I have. Got The Tree of Might and Lord Slug. I don't know which ones these are. They did a bunch of these double feature Blu-rays, and yeah, I want to get them all, but I currently only have two of them, and yeah, I don't know where they take place. I know this isn't the first one because the first film's called Dead Zone because I've seen it before, so I remember what that one's called. So yeah, and then we got Cooler's Revenge and the Return of Cooler, who's that character there, and my cat now wants me to let him out. I didn't want him in here in the first place because I was doing this. Yes, Dylan. I'll be back in a second. Okay, moving on. I'm on the lower step now, which means I won't be blocking so much of the light, I don't think. Anyway, we got the Blu-ray release of Resurrection F. This is like the collector's edition. I sort of bought this on a whim. Yeah, I've not watched this film. I know I can watch this film because this film... Well, I can't. I think there's one that came out before this, actually, but... These two more modern Dragon Ball Z films are basically what are covered in the first like 30 episodes or something crazy of like Dragon Ball Super. So I can watch those, and there's nothing I need to see before watching them. Well, no, yeah, because GT, yeah, Dragon Ball GT, isn't canon anymore. It's wiped from the official canon, and it's mostly considered to be complete garbage. But anyway, I have it, it's part of the collection, so I decided to get it. So we've got Dragon Ball GT Season 1 and Dragon Ball GT Season 2, which of course completes the series and has a movie on it as well. I've watched like the first 4 episodes of GT, and yeah, it's not very good at all. It's just not very Dragon Ball, if anything. Like, yeah, there's just some bizarre stuff that's going on in this. Like, the reason that the plot for this show is just nuts. So yeah, moving on, we have my Fist of the North Star collection, which I believe this is everything Fist of the North Star that's available in English on home video in America and across the world, I think, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, there's no, like, the True Savior films aren't out, and none of the Fist of the Blue Sky has come out officially in English on DVD or Blu-ray, but this is everything else. So we have, here we have Legend of the Dark King, a Fist of the North Star story. This basically is like it takes place in the same timeline as like these two sets here, or around these two sets, and it shows you the journey of Raul. I can never remember how to say his name properly, but basically like the main villain of like the first half of the show, or pretty much most of the show. Yeah. It's kind of weird though, actually. It's meant to take place in that timeline, but there's a bunch of weird changes. Like it feels more like a post-apocalyptic fantasy series, like in terms of like the sort of armor they wear, and like they go around and do they go around the horse? Yeah, go around on like horses and stuff, of course, which is in the TV series as well a bit, but I don't know, it's sort of turned up to 11 in this. It's kind of strange. I didn't overly like it, and this Blu-ray isn't really worth having in my opinion. The DVD is probably just fine. I don't think it's an upscale, but it might be. I don't know, the Blu-ray didn't look that good. So anyway, and then we got the TV series, the original Fist of the North Star TV series, which I love. I loved watching this. It was really cool. So we got the 109 episodes across these 3 box sets of the original series. Then we got Fist of the North Star 2, which completes the story up to a point anyway. So yeah, we got box 1. And of course these are now available on Blu-ray, kinda. They're on SD Blu-ray, which would be a space saver, but I love these box sets too much to give them up. So yeah, I've decided to keep these. Anyway, and then we got the Blu-ray version of Fist of the North Star, the movie, which I haven't shown in a pickups video just yet, but there it is, Fist of the North Star, the movie on Blu-ray, which is really, really cool. Yeah, it's got full frame and the widescreen version. Apologies for my finger. Anyway, then we still have the original Discotheque DVD release, which I have no reason to keep anymore, but it's not really worth anything, so I just decided to keep it for now. And then, as I said, we got box set 3, which ends the original series of Fist of the North Star up to episode 109. And then, rather than just doing Fist of the North Star 2, they just did Fist of the North Star Volume 4, but this is actually the complete Fist of the North Star 2, which came out about 6 months after the original finished or something in the 80s. And yeah, this is kind of cool. I do like this. It is a continuation of the story. There's some cool stuff going on. But there's also some parts of it I didn't like in the original run of the show, like the action and all the stuff with like the crazy martial arts and all that was a bit more grounded, or as grounded as it could be. But this version is they kind of go a bit crazy. They start shooting like lightning out of their hands occasionally and things, and it just gets a little bit weird. But nothing too crazy, and nothing too. It doesn't really spoil anything. There's some pretty good story moments in this as well. I like the ending. Yeah, it's still worth watching, of course, especially if you've made it all the way through the original. There's no reason not to continue with this. It's still Fist of the North Star, and it's still pretty badass. You definitely need the word bad before you say ass in this case. So yeah, Fist of the North Star, freaking Kenshiro, Bruce Lee on steroid, Mad Max apocalyptic world. It's fucking awesome. You should watch it. Anyway, and then we've got a new Fist of the North Star, which is actually the first Fist of the North Star thing I watched, which is fortunately, once I actually started watching the TV series, I'd long since forgotten everything that happened in this. Because, yeah, without having seen the original series, it's kind of hard to keep up with like the context of what all this is. So I kind of watched it and thought, it's cool. Because when I initially watched it, I didn't realise that it was basically a sequel to everything that had come before it. So yeah, New Fist of the North Star, it's like a 3-episode, I believe, OVA. Each episode is like an hour long or something. And yeah, it all takes place after Fist of the North Star 2. I need to rewatch it. I've never watched it since I watched it back then, and as I said, by the time I got to the TV series, I'd basically forgotten anything that had happened in this. But with all the context of the TV series now fully in my mind, I probably enjoy this way more than I did the first time, so I need to watch it. And then there's also a bunch of like True Savior films and stuff, but I said that stuff's all really, really cool, but none of it's ever come out. I really hope Discotek would finally put that out someday, and I still hope they will. I don't really know why it's never come out in English, because they're pretty cool, those films. I have watched them fan-subbed, and they're really cool. Anyway, then we got DD Fist of the North Star. It's like a comedy spin-off series, like what if the apocalypse never happened, but these characters and their ways of life still kind of existed. You know, they have to go and get jobs in like 7-Elevens and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Not amazing, but it's pretty good. This is the first season. The second season never came out on home video over here, unfortunately. So, moving on, we move on to one of the classic shonen series of the 90s, Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, these are the pretty hard to come by now DVD box sets. We've got the first one. I've done an unboxing for these, so maybe I won't drag them all out. If you want to see what these look like, because they do look pretty cool, then check out the link in the description for the unboxing. But yeah, I love the 1999 version of Hunter x Hunter. I've watched this twice through. This is 62 episodes dubbed in English. Viz Media did license, I believe, the 30 episode OVA, which had adapted like a considerably more of the manga at the time, but unfortunately those never came out. Viz never actually released them, but I'm pretty sure they did license them. So yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, this classic series is still really, really cool. I still prefer it over the 2011 version, which we'll talk about in a minute. Reasons being, mainly, is because it's got a darker atmosphere, and the animation, the cell animation certainly suits it as well. And it's just, yeah, it's paced slower in the part of the show that I like the most. Like the Hunter exam is, yeah, it takes more time in this version in terms of like episode count. And I just prefer that part of the show. It's my favourite part of the show, so getting more of it is really cool. Plus there's a 3-episode filler arc, partly like an arc, I guess, like that's in the Hunter exam. Like a whole like extra exam that isn't in the manga, but it's actually really, really cool. Like if you think like Water 7 and what happens there with like a giant wave, it's kind of like that, and it's really cool. Like I said, it's only 3 episodes, but hey, that's like an hour and 10 minutes, and yeah, it's actually really cool. And it's a shame that that is filler, because I really liked it. So yeah, Hunter x Hunter 1999, love that show, love those sets. I'm very fortunate to have them. I bought them right as they were going out of print, or pretty much I think they were out of print. I basically just picked up the last few copies I could find, and I got lucky enough to find them all at normal price. So anyway, then we got the 2011 version on Blu-ray from Viz Media, dub and sub. So yeah, this one version is a little bit different, a bit more bright and colourful, and some it's a little bit quicker in terms of pace, especially for the early parts of the show, which has obviously been covered in another series almost 12 years prior to when this started. So yeah, but again, Hunter x Hunter is one of the great anime shonen type series, and I really, really, really enjoyed, or have enjoyed, this version as well. Yeah, but as I said, I still prefer the original, nostalgia sort of thing, I guess. But I do like this adaptation as well, and I'm really looking forward to going beyond, not the next set, which is just out, but like set 5, which will be all new stuff for me. I wouldn't have seen any of that stuff, because the original series with the OVAs included goes up to the end of the Greed Island arc, which is what set 4 is for this. So yeah, looking forward to that. Really great series. Then we got Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, History's Strongest Disciples. Got a couple of names, but yeah, Kenichi Parts 1 and Season 1 Parts 1 and 2, and Season 2 Parts 1 and 2. This is a really, really, really popular show, and I'm not 100% sure why. Like, it's insanely popular. This has got like really high ratings, at least it used to. Maybe it doesn't quite have them nowadays, but it used to have incredibly high ratings. And I just thought it was sort of a throwaway series, pretty mediocre. Like, I did enjoy parts of it, but for the most part, it's about this guy here, Kenichi, who he kind of just, you know, he learns a move, uses it against a guy who wants to fight him, defeats that guy, and then attracts the attention of another guy who now wants to beat him as well. Wants to beat Kenichi, so Kenichi goes and learns another move, another special move, and the cycle repeats pretty much to the end of the show. There's some other stuff, but for the most part that's kind of what the show is, and it's got some fun comedic stuff. That, like I said, there's some great characters in this, but for the most part it's just kind of meh. Like, I went into it with huge expectations based on some of the ratings I'd seen for it going around, but yeah, it failed to deliver on them, unfortunately. So anyway, next up we have Naruto. So we got Naruto boxes 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. Yeah, these are basically the 8 box sets. They're 4 seasons split into 2 parts each. So yeah, we've got 8 box sets. This covers all 220 episodes of the original series. Then we got the triple feature box set for the 3 movies. So the only thing I'm missing for the original is like a OVA that for some reason Viz Media, again in all their amazing wisdom, decided not to put on that set. So it's like a 30-minute OVA they also put out. I can't remember what it's called, like the Lost Song or the Lost Bit, I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't include it on that set. There's a couple of like short stuff on there, but there's that OVA, again it's only 30 minutes, isn't on that set, which is really dumb. But anyway, so yeah, I love Naruto. It's really, really good. The original series is fantastic, especially since for the most part, up to a point, it's not really got any filler in it. Like, it's pretty much a straight adaptation. Like, I'm sure there's some padding that kind of stretches out some parts of the show which the manga doesn't have or something. But up to around, I can't remember what it is, like episode 140 or something, it's not really got any filler in it at all. And then there's obviously 80 episodes of filler at the end because of how popular the show was. They didn't want to take it off the air, even though they really, 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 really should have done. Just take it off the air for like a year and a half and then come back with Naruto Shippuden. But they didn't. They decided to keep it on air and have 80 episodes of absolutely, completely, totally pointless shit filler. So yeah. Anyway, Naruto is still a great series when it doesn't have the filler. In fact, it's probably one of the best when it doesn't have the filler. So yeah, let's move on to the other 2 shelves. Okay, so now we have Naruto Shippuden. So we got boxes 1 all the way up to 16. Then I'm missing box 17. And that would take me all the way up to box set 25. So yeah, Naruto Shippuden. I love this series when it's not filler. Again, much like Bleach, it suffers from this terrible filler problem, like really bad, because you'll be, like currently where I am in the show right now, it's basically just a normal arc and it keeps getting interrupted by filler because they're so close to where the manga was at the time. And it really just baffles me why they didn't just take the show off the air once or twice for like a year or 6 months or something, rather than just filling it up with this garbage filler. Like, it's just madness, utter madness. I reckon I would not be surprised if at some point within the next 10 years we get Naruto Kai, like Dragon Ball Z Kai style, where we basically get the original series and Shippuden with none of the filler, and it just goes all the way through, because all that combined would be less than the length of Naruto Shippuden. I think the actual show, if you count all the canon for the original series plus Shippuden, is probably about, let me think here, it's like, I think it's like 250 for Shippuden and then 140 for thingy. So yeah, 390 episodes would be all you need to watch all of Naruto before Boruto and stuff. So yeah, it's madness. Another kind of maddening thing is that Viz Media originally started these box sets like this, where they had 3 thin DVDs. They did that for the first 4 sets, as you can see here, and then they went to these keep cases, but they've never re-released these like they did for Bleach, because if they did, I would totally buy them in re-released packaging to save a little bit of space, because space is always a priority, especially for a show as long as this one's going to eventually be on the shelf. So yeah, so we have box 5, 6, 7, let's do this quickly, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with Hinata on it, woohoo! 14, 15, oh look, younger Naruto, I wonder if that's filler, I wonder, anyway, 16 with Gaara on it, 18, so you're missing 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So that's where I am right now. The actual releases are up to about, I think it's 33 or something. But yeah, I've only got up to 25, and obviously I'm missing 17. But yeah, as I say, I love Naruto when it's not filler. It's one of the best. It's not the best shonen series, we'll see that in a minute, but it's one of the best. So yeah, it's unfortunate, really unfortunate. As I said, I don't know why they didn't just take the show off the air once or twice. Like they did it with Gintama. Like Gintama's had like multiple different seasons. It's a different type of show, I guess, but it's had multiple different seasons. Like they take it off the air and then they bring it back, and then they take it off and they bring it back. And I don't know why they didn't just do that for Naruto Shippuden. Like I really don't. It makes no sense to me. Like why? It's like it's less grievous, as I said, or whatever the right word would be, with the original series. Because like I said, like it's pretty much canon up to like the end, and then there's like 80 episodes of crap, so they could have taken it off at the end and not done that 80 episodes or whatever. But with Shippuden it's way worse. It's way worse. Like, and some of the filler is just nuts. Like I don't know, I think it's like around here, around this point, where there's this like zombie fucking apocalypse something bullshit going on, which is never mentioned again. It's just utter madness. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. If you ever watch this show and you don't mind skipping filler, then yeah, fucking watch this show and skip all the filler. None of it's worth it. I'm now skipping filler. I'm not watching any of it anymore. I did so up to around episode 290, and then I've just given up. Just totally given up. Anyway, that's enough about that. So then we got 4 of the movies. This is the second movie. I don't have the first one because it's only out on DVD in America, but it did get a Blu Ray in the UK. And I've been kind of umming and ahhing about which version to get, because I can't remember if the Blu Ray's an upscale in the UK. It might be. But if it's a movie, you would think it isn't. You know, if it was shown in cinema, surely it has like a HD transfer of some kind, but I don't know. Anyway, and then we got The Will of Fire, which I believe is the 3rd movie in this one. Lost Tower, which I believe is the 4th. And The Blood Prison, which I believe is the 5th. And there's 2 more after this, I think, and there's also a Boruto movie. And eventually I imagine Viz Media will start putting out Boruto, which I'm really looking forward to watching, honestly. But anyway, I haven't watched any of the films yet. I tend to watch them after I've watched the show. Like, you can watch them at certain points, and some of the episodes, especially the filler stuff, obviously, because this is all filler, links to these. So I'll look that up and I'll watch those episodes and then watch the movies at some point. But yeah, I don't tend to watch these while I'm going through the show, because I don't know, I just don't. So anyway, much like I did with the original, I'll watch all the movies after I've seen the series. So next up, we have One Piece. the greatest shonen series ever. So we have collections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. Yes, I'm collecting the collections now. Long-time viewers will know that I had the Voyages up to season 5. I still do have them. They're in the other room. I haven't sold them yet. I could probably go down and actually be able to film this a little bit better now. These are at a reasonable height. So anyway, whatever. So yeah, we got the One Piece collections. As I said, I had the Voyages, but they were... I don't know, like, I just, after a while, I figured I need to save the space. I really loved the Voyages, but they changed the design after a while, and it just kind of looks weird on the shelf. And these collections will be uniform all the way through. I'm hoping they're going to keep doing it. I've heard some rumours that maybe Funimation don't have any more of One Piece, and they're going to stop around Fishman Island, which I really fucking hope doesn't happen. Even though these are only DVD, and I'd really like to have the show on Blu Ray, at least, you know, from episode 300 up. I think the show was in HD or something. But if DVDs are all we're ever going to get, I will take them. I will have them, because I want this show on my shelf, like... Because, yeah, One Piece is one of the greatest anime ever made. I absolutely adore this show. Just an incredible journey, like, great stuff of friendship and all that, and just so many emotions come out of me with this show. Like, I care about so many of these characters so much because I've been with them for so long. Like, I'm currently on episode 850, which is the latest anime episode. Like I said, I've seen it all the way up to there, but obviously the... DVDs are only up to about 500 or so. But anyway, yeah, so these are the first 8 collections here, which cover like the first 200 episodes. Chopper, Usopp, Sanji, Robin, and then the whole crew, because this is all before Frankie joined and stuff, so yeah. So we've got the collections. As I said, they'll look really good on the shelf all next to each other like this. And then we've got collection 11 here. I need 9 and 10 obviously, and then the rest of them. I think it's on collection 23 now. But yeah, One Piece is amazing. It's not without frustration. After the time skip, around the episode 500 mark or whatever, the show just hasn't been quite as good. And my favourite chunk of the show is definitely like the first 330 episodes. And I feel like after that it's sort of goes down in quality a little, but it still has its moments, and it's still an incredible journey and just a fantastic show all around. Like, even One Piece at its not so best is still far better than 90% of the anime you're ever going to watch. So yeah, One Piece is amazing. And then we got 2 of the movies that Funimation have put out on Blu-rays. We got a Strong World and One Piece Film Z, which has a really awesome, like, embossed cover. You can kind of see there. This is kind of cool. I like both those films. The One Piece films are pretty good, especially some of the more recent ones. There are film collections in the UK that have the first 9 films available, sub only, but hey, that's better than nothing. Because the only other film that Funimation have put out, other than like the Heart of Gold or Film Gold, which I for some reason don't have, I really need to get it. Yeah, the only other one they put out is the 8th film, the one to do with Alabasta or whatever. Yeah, for some reason they've never put out the others, which kind of sucks. So I should probably get those UK releases at some point. The only problem is they have PAL speed up, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, so there's One Piece, one of the best anime ever made. Okay, let's finally move on to some other stuff, because wow, we talked about that stuff for almost 10 minutes between Naruto and One Piece. Anyway, so yeah, here we have my Pokemon section. When it comes to Pokemon, I kind of fell into a trap. I bought this, the 3 movies in a steelbook on Blu-ray. I really like this steelbook, even though it's kind of a design I wouldn't normally enjoy, and I've kind of gone off steelbooks honestly, but even though it's got like the information printed on the back and stuff, and it's got like, I don't know, I just really like it. It's kind of like a weird, like, Frankenstein sort of design to it, where you've got like the 3 logos for the films, all with different colours, and then lime green on the back, and then purple, blue, and it's kind of a weird looking set, but I really like it. So anyway, I bought that based on nostalgia, obviously, because I grew up with Pokemon. I was the perfect age for it when it started airing and the video games came out. And But Pokemon always remained as like a bubble back there in my life. That is when I enjoyed Pokemon, watched Pokemon, played the games, and after I grew up a little bit more, I just grew out of it. I have nothing against it, obviously, but I just stopped interacting with the world of Pokemon, if you will. So, yeah, I bought those movies based on nostalgia, and I was hoping it wouldn't lead me down this road to buying the TV series, but it did. So I picked up Indigo League, which is like the first 75 episodes in this, 78 in this box set. Which actually, this is like, half of this I think is Orange Islands as well, maybe? I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, we got 78 episodes there. Then we got The Adventures on Orange Island, isn't it called? In the Orange Islands. But yeah, actually, just quickly going back here, like this is pretty much the only Pokemon stuff I'd ever seen previously. The movies and then this part of the show. Because you know, this is like over a year's worth of programming, so by the time that this had stopped, like by the time we got into this point, I'd already kind of stopped watching the show and moved on to other things. So yeah, this is all stuff I haven't really seen. I think I've seen some of this, but not a lot of it. But yeah, Adventures in the Orange Islands. And then we've got the Johto Journeys, which has a lot of the gold and silver Pokemon in it. And again, like I said, Gold and Silver is not a game I really played at all. And then we have the Pokemon Johto League Champions. And yeah, and then we've got the movies. So I'm missing Master Quest, and then I have the entire, I would have the entire original run of Pokemon, the first 276 episodes before the show got stopped airing for a bit and then changed into Pokemon Advanced. I'm not going to collect anything beyond the original series. I will buy Master Quest and that'll be it, because there's like 1,000 episodes of Pokemon and it's pretty episodic and it's pretty much rinse and repeat, because basically the show is just reinvented for every new generation, if you will, of kids that will grow up playing the games and watching the show at those prime ages of like between 8 and 12. So yeah, the show never really changes much. It's not like this grand story, it just kind of repeats itself in many ways. Like a lot of the stories kind of repeat, and the fact that, you know, Ash has never won the freaking Pokemon Championship and things like that, it's all because the show just repeats all the time, and like same lessons are learned but taught to a new generation, if you will. So anyway, then we got Saint Seiya. This is all 12 volumes of the ADV release, which covers most of the Sanctuary arc but not all of it, unfortunately. So yeah, we've got I've now watched the complete Saint Seiya. I watched these a while ago, and then I finished the Sanctuary arc on like Hulu or something. I watched like the last 11, I think, episodes, or 12 that covered the Sanctuary arc, which is basically the best part of the show. And then last year I finally went back and watched the rest of Saint Seiya via pretty bad fan subs. There isn't, strangely enough, there isn't really any good fan subs available for this, but yeah, so I went through and finished the show, and it wasn't very good. Like those last 50 or 40 episodes or whatever it was weren't very good at all. There was like a filler arc, and then there was like another, like a 25, 26 episode filler arc, and then there was like another 20 plus episode arc. But I didn't really like it. But yeah, these are the 12 volumes that ADV put out. They did do collection box sets as well, but I've never really gone for those because they're quite expensive, and these are the original versions that I've had. And I kind of like them. I like the artwork on these, but they do take up a lot of space, obviously. So anyway, next to that, I have the 4 movies that that Discotech put out for Saint Seiya. So we've got the first 2 movies. These are sub only. These have Blu Ray releases in Japan that aren't upscales. The series was upscaled on Blu Ray, but these do have proper Blu Rays. But Discotech released these, and they also released the Lost Canvas, and apparently they didn't sell very well, and they're not going to put out any more Saint Seiya. Unfortunately, I really wish they'd licensed the TV series and done that first, but so I could at least have the complete Sanctuary arc. But actually, New Video Group actually have put out the complete Sanctuary arc for Saint Seiya, but they only put it out sub only for some reason, which is kind of weird. So anyway, strangely enough, actually, Lost Canvas has got a dub on Netflix now. So I think Netflix might be our Saint Seiya saviors, because they're doing that new Netflix series which kind of retells the story, like a new version, and that will obviously have an English dub and everything. But yeah, for them to also get Lost Canvas and dub it as well, like they might end up just doing all of it, because obviously Saint Seiya is hugely popular everywhere else in the world apart from in English speaking territories. It's huge in France, especially Latin America and Latino countries. It's really, really popular. So there's definitely a good chance that Netflix may end up, putting out the show and like license it and getting a lot of that show on their service, especially with the new one and stuff, and dubbing it, because part of their policy, at least so far, seems to be that they dub most of their projects in all of the major languages, and English is one of the major languages, so it gets a dub like Lost Canvas, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Netflix may come to save the day for Saint Seiya fans, which is neat. So anyway, next to that we have Soul Eater, which I guess isn't really shonen as such, but I don't really know where else to put it. I could put this in my supernatural superpowers section, but it's here for now, so here it is. So yeah, this is the first half of the show on Blu Ray, the Meister collection. Soul Eater is a hugely popular series, which I just didn't ever really enjoy that much. I just didn't really know what the show was. The story just wasn't that great to me. I really like the characters and the art, but yeah, the story just never really took off at any point. Like, there isn't a thread that goes through to the end of the series in terms of like a plot until about episode 33, somewhere around there, where suddenly there's this thing going on and they, it turns into a slightly more traditional action show and they go and fight or whatever. Up to that point, it's sort of like episodic-ish. I don't know, it's been a while since I watched it, but just never really grabbed me. Like, which is, again, yeah, this is one of those shows that is super popular where I kind of disagree with the majority. There's not too many shows like that in my collection and just in my viewing history where I completely disagree with the majority of anime fans in the West, but Soul Eater is one of them. I like the show enough to keep it. I would like to try it again, but yeah, the show just never really grabbed me in any significant way. So anyway, next to that we have Torico on DVD. These are the first 50 episodes that Funimation put out. Unfortunately, the show was a sales failure, so this is all we got. I think there's like 147 episodes of the series in total. But yeah, I have the first 4 parts here, which cover, again, like 50 episodes, and yeah, they're dubbed. They're only on DVD, unfortunately. So, and I bought these as and when they were coming out, and I didn't get around to watching them at the time, and I've kind of been put off watching them now since the show stopped after 50 episodes. So, the releases stopped after 50 episodes. So, yeah. But it's there whenever I want to hopefully get into the show. I think I would enjoy it quite a bit. And like I say, I can watch the rest of the show subtitled. It's available pretty easily, so especially on like Crunchyroll and stuff. So yeah, Torico, not yeah, I haven't seen the show, so I don't really know too much about it, obviously, but not something I've watched yet. And then we got Yakutate Japan. I don't really know how to pronounce that first part properly, if I'm honest. But yeah, this is the complete collection in the art box that Right Stuff put out. The art box came with Volume 1. I don't know if you can get it anymore, probably not, I would imagine, but I'm not sure. And then they did boxes, or Part 2 and Part 3. But yeah, this is a series, it's like a shonen-ish series about baking. The main character, I guess we'll show them, the main character here, wants to basically make a national bread for Japan. So, you know how French bread and things like that, he wants to make one for Japan, because apparently they don't have one. So, yeah, and that's basically what this show is about. It gets kind of nuts. It's kind of over the top, like, it's very shonen-y, like, it's not very realistic, if you will. But it's somewhat fun. I enjoyed, like, the first half of the show, but I kind of got tired with it about halfway, because it kind of gets really crazy and silly after a while. And yeah, and then the ending is just anticlimactic, not a lot happens, so yeah, not a show, unfortunately not a show I would highly recommend, like overly recommend, because when I was picking this up I was super excited, because this was just one of those shows I really wanted to see. It's a samurai shows from the mid-2000s, it just got passed over at the time, and to see it like come out on DVD well after the fact was super exciting to me, because as I said, it was a show I was interested in seeing, and I definitely hyped it up in my pickup videos, despite having only watched about probably one episode at that point. And yeah, like I said, the show's really good for about half of it, and then it kind of tails off. It's not bad or anything, it's just, it gets very cliche shonen silly, even though it's a baking show. So it has that going for it. It is certainly unique in that way. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, moving on, we have a Yuyu Hakusho, the original. Well, these are completely out of order, aren't they? That's the first season. Crap. Okay, I know what I did. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Yu Hakusho on Blu Ray, the 1994 series, I believe. This is made by the same guy that made Hunter x Hunter. This is his first ever, well, maybe not his first ever, but this is the manga series he did before Hunter x Hunter, and this is the one that got adapted before Hunter x Hunter as well, obviously. So yeah, we've got Yu Hakusho on Blu Ray, the original series. I'd love to get Hunter x Hunter on Blu Ray, the original as well. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so cell animated, but so it looks beautiful on Blu-ray. These are the Funimation releases. Unfortunately, these are Anime Classics releases. I used to have the slipcovers for 2 of them, but since I only had the slipcovers for only 2 of them, I decided to give them away to someone who really wanted them to complete their set. So, since I wasn't as fussed at picking up the rest of the slipcovers, so yeah, I don't have the slipcovers for them, but yeah, Yu Hakusho. This is a show I'd like to watch sooner rather than later, because like I say, I love Hunter x Hunter, so I'm expecting to really like this one, especially since this is like a supernatural series as well, supernatural action fighting series. This sounds really, really cool. I need to get the movies and like OVAs that are out. Central Park Media put out one of them, and then Funimation put out the others. I'd really like to get those as well soon on DVD to complete the set. But yeah, Yu Hakusho, The Ghost Files. Really looking forward to watching the show at some point. I plan to do it this year, but this year just seems to be flying by, just like every other year. As you get older, it's just insane how fast time flies. But yeah, Yu Hakusho is definitely a show I want to watch. Anyway, so the final thing from my Shonen section collection, basically, is Zenki. This is a 1995 anime series. This could easily go in my supernatural horror type section, but it's certainly light-hearted enough, and you know, it's in a similar vein to like Yu Hakusho. Could also go in my supernatural section technically, but it just feels to me it just fits better here. But yeah, this is a kind of cool series, one of those like forgotten shows that's kind of just like time has passed it by and people just kind of forgotten about it. It's a 1995 series. It's pretty cheesy, like like this girl here, she basically gets this ring. I think she's like a oh god, shrine priestess or whatever, and she gets like this ring that allows her to control this demon guy called Zenki, and yeah, like he can power up to this more demonic form, but most of the time he's like basically looks like a 5-year-old kid or something. So yeah, but it's just a silly show where they go around their local area solving like these supernatural occurrences, and Zenki like goes around like eating up these like demons and stuff, and it's got some pretty like garish and like like grim like monsters in it and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. Like I liked it. Like it's definitely like a more, you know, kid friendly, I guess. I wouldn't say overly kid friendly, but definitely kid friendly. It's not like a proper horror thing or anything, but yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty dark and fun. I think my best description I've ever come up for this show is that this show is kind of like blowing bubbles in your drink. You know, it's pointless, but totally satisfying. So that's pretty much how I sum up Zenki. It's a really cool show. These are kind of hard to track down, some of these now, if not all of them. I think the stock for these have slowly dissipated over time. This is a show I think is ripe for a discotheque standard definition on Blu-ray re-release at some point. It seems like a perfect candidate to me, so maybe that will happen one day. And then here in the corner, we might as well do these now, because doing a part just on their own would be kind of stupid. This is my basically 2D fighting game, or just fighting game in general. Let's move this little guy out of the way from Eccentric Family. Thank you, Rock Itachi. It was a Christmas present last year. It's super awesome. I've got loads of other ones amongst the shelves. Anyway, yeah, so this is a 2D fighting game, or fighting game in general, like OVAs and movies. I just really like these. Like I grew up playing a lot of these fighting games. I've totally gone off fighting games nowadays. I don't play them at all. But I have great nostalgia for the ones that were in the 90s. Like, I used to mess around with them a lot as a kid. Against friends and stuff, and yeah, I kind of just like having these OVAs. There's a ton I'm missing that I need to get, but these are the ones I have so far. So we've got Battle Arena Toshinden. And a lot of these are really badly rated by most people, but I kind of like them. Like, I like this one especially. Like, again, it's only like 45 minutes or something, but yeah, I've seen this often touted as like one of the worst anime you can watch, and blah 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 blah, that sort of thing that would appear on like Bennett the Sage or whatever the hell he's called, and he's like totally rip it apart, and I'm sure he's totally justified to do so, but when I watched it, I enjoyed it, and that's all I care about. So yeah, Battle Arena Toshinden. Then we got Darkstalkers, the complete OVA collection. This is the discotheque version. This was also put out by Viz Media, but if you're buying this nowadays in 2018, you need to buy this version, because this is the version that has the remastered video and audio, and it looks really, really nice. Probably nice enough that they could maybe do a Blu Ray at some point. It looks really good. Yeah, it's a pretty good series. I did like the atmosphere in this a lot. Anyway, I really like Donovan in this. He was my favourite character from Darkstalkers and Super Puzzle Fighter. And he's really cool in this. So then we got Psychic Force. This is really bad. Like, genuinely, this one is actually really terrible. It's so boring. I think this is based on like this weird 3D arena fighter that came out on the PS1, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, yeah. Then we got Samurai Showdown, the motion picture. Yeah, I remember playing some of the Samurai Showdown games, not a lot. I haven't watched this one yet. Hope to eventually. There is another one, a Samurai Showdown 2. I don't know if that came out on DVD though. But I know there's another movie that came out after that as well. Then we've got Street Fighter 2, the movie, collector's edition from Discotheque. This release is insanely awesome. If you like this film at all, you owe yourself to buy this, and Discotheque definitely deserve the money that you will exchange for buying this, because it is absolutely fantastic. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, collector's edition, totally awesome. Like, the amount of effort they put into this is just insane, and it's a pretty cool movie, obviously really iconic. And then we got Street Fighter Alpha, the movie. There's another Alpha movie as well. I'll probably get it eventually, but I have seen this and I hated it. It was boring as shit. But anyway. So yeah, there's a couple of other ones I still need to get, like Fatal Fury is the one that's really missing from this collection. But yeah, a few more I need to get at some point. So anyway, that's the Shonen section. Next time we'll be doing samurai and ninja stuff. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.